Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chain. So today I want to talk about the Pepe and Friends narrative, because that is something that I just have not covered too much at all on the channel. I'm going to give you guys a rundown of, my thoughts, certain things about it that I think are really bullish, and just some different coins that you guys might not be familiar with. And honestly, I'm just going to throw in some other meme coins, more towards the end here, but so let's dive into it. So we got Pepe, the OG Pepe, sitting at literally 5 billion right now, right? Huge valuation. And I still think it has a good amount of growth left in the tank throughout the rest of this year, right? Maybe, even into next year, but no one knows where the actual bull run will end, right? It feels like it's over already. Just seeing where utility coins are at, but I still think we got a long way to go. At least another 4, 5, 6 months upwards, maybe 12. That's how I'm playing it. But anyways, we got Pepe here. Launched all the way back in April of 2023. So mid-April, right? This launched from literal, I don't know what the market cap was. It was tiny. It went all the way up to like 1 point something billion in market cap in the span of, I think, about a few weeks here, which is crazy. I remember I was at work watching this just every day, just continue to rip, and I continued to fade entries, waiting for it to just dump. I'm like, it is not dumping. Completely faded Pepe. Excuse me. But, so I want to talk about a coin that precedes Pepe that it has been getting some attention right now. Excuse me. So we do have Hoppy here, which is interesting, because this is a coin that I've heard of all the way back when Pepe launched, right? Maybe not when Pepe launched, but during the bear market, I heard of Hoppy for a while, because this Hoppy specifically, though, this launched in March of 2024, so it's fairly new, right? And the thing about this, Hoppy coin, Hoppy is apparently, this is a frog that has preceded Pepe in terms of when, Matt Fury, the creator, actually created Hoppy, right? And I don't know if I want to play. Might as well play this, but
share about the legend before Pepe the Frog became the internet sensation it is today. There was Hoppy, my very first ever froggy creation.
So this is Matt Fury actually talking
really
right now.
Just a teenager trying to find my creative groove. Hoppy was my cool green buddy, full of personality and charm. And little did I know that he would be the catalyst part into developing Hoppy. Hoppy's infectious energy, iconic thing extraordinary, the frog.
Yeah, so basically this Hoppy frog preceded Pepe in a sense where this was like the original creation that Matt Fury had, which kind of led into when he created Pepe next. Which personally, I think that's a huge narrative going into, just the rest of this bull run. Because I feel like Pepe itself has created this massive narrative, right? And then you got Pepe's Friends. Those are all different coins, doing insanely well, right? Because I think Pepe, you got Brett, obviously, Brett on base. You got Andy on Blast, Andy on ETH. Bunch of different Andys, bunch of Land Wolves, right? Bird Dog. I don't even know if Bird Dog is one of them. Then you got Bobo and Mumu, which I don't even know if are official Matt Fury art, but they just give off that vibe of Pepe and stuff, which I'm also really bullish on those as well. Bobo is a gem, and Mumu too. Mumu's solid. But the thing about this Hoppy coin, this is what I want many people to pay attention to, is the reason why I said it initially is that I heard about this Hoppy coin in the middle of the bear market, is because there is actually another Hoppy token on ETH. It's actually trending pretty heavy right now. But this one dates back to July of 2023. This is when Hoppy actually launched. So this is technically like the OG Hoppy token, right? But this one, I assume because this is now a community takeover, is they got a new Twitter, new website. That's probably why it's starting to move pretty heavily too. But I assume this Hoppy has been very active on Twitter, on socials, kind of bringing Hoppy to the forefront, right? But I do like the idea of the OG Hoppy coin, the OG frog that literally is what created Pepe, sitting, still under 2 million in market cap, right? I like, even if you want to call this a beta play, if you want to call it a beta play to the other Hoppy token, I still feel like this is a pretty interesting coin, right? So initially I called this in our Discord. Actually today it was down here. So it's up, it's not up like crazy yet, but I don't know. This is really interesting to me. There's a lot of good and bad things. Not really with this token, but the idea of it I do like. So I would not be surprised to see, at this point both Hoppy tokens, kind of just pumping very like strong long term, right? I feel like it's gonna be kind of similar to the idea how you have Pepe, but then you also have like Pepe coins, right? Even though Pepe coins obviously has the utility, by staking it to get based AI or something like that. So it's obviously a very powerful utility to that meme coin, I think, which is why it's driven that so high. But I think of outside of that utility, even if they didn't have that, I think an OG Pepe, kind of preceding the other Pepe, is another. It is, it's a viable narrative, right? Because you have Pepe sitting at 5 billion, but where's Pepe coin at? Currently it's sitting at around 400, about 400 million in market cap, right? Again, granted, with all the utility behind it now, it's very strong, and the constant, team effort of the developers and, what they're working on, right? But, I kind of see the same idea or potentially something similar, worst case, happening with this Hoppy token. I feel like this Hoppy coin long term can get a lot of attention because this is one of the only Pepe and friends narrative, people, whatever art that you want to call meme, that actually like legitimately art wise precedes Pepe. That itself, I feel like, is a very strong narrative for any and every degen in crypto, right? I personally can see that. I don't know if this is going to be the Hoppy that ends up going crazy, right? Actually, yeah, they even got the ad here for the original one. That's funny. But yeah, in my opinion, this is just this is going to be a battle right now. Because this is a community takeover now. They're both on CoinGecko. This one does have a couple listings already, which definitely is a good reason why, it's definitely higher in valuation currently. This, I think, is only on Uniswap. But again, I love the idea, again, how this is just from all the way back here, right? Precedes this other one by, more than 6-7 months, right? So this one's kind of interesting, Hoppy. So I kind of wanted to bring that to everyone's attention, because as a long-term bet, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. But I do like this. I think this could be a pretty good coin, long-term. So, and then we even got Brett, right? But what's interesting, though, is sometimes, I don't know, because a lot of, like, OG coins, they really don't do too much in a sense of what Brett did. Because, Brett, once it was launched on Base, that's kind of when it got most of its attention, right? Because there were actually, I think multiple Brett tokens launched on ETH, way before Brett was actually popular. Yeah, as you can see right here, these are two OG Brett coins on ETH. Blepe and then ticker Brett. So this looks like an original Brett coin launched all the way in May. Which again, this was probably, I think this was when exactly when Pepe was like running like crazy, like middle of May, or maybe just after Pepe ran. But obviously, I don't know anything about this coin. But yeah, you can see the value though, the valuation at 300K. That's crazy. So this is not a buy signal for these coins at all, guys. Like, I don't know anything about this. Kind of just showing you guys, right off the bat here. But I do think a lot of Pepe friends continuing through the bull run is going to be a huge narrative. And I think specifically both of these, Andy on ETH, Andy on Blast. I like the idea of Andy on Blast. It's on a new blockchain, and Andy's yellow. Blast is yellow. I think that's sick. Because then we had Bread on base, which is blue. I don't know. I don't know why, but I love that. I think that's sweet. But same thing, you're going to have all of these coins kind of battling it out between each other. There's 2 Andy coins now, right? But then obviously on Sol, there's another 8 of them. And then, you got Landwolf as well. Landwolf could be another one that could be the next one to run again. But I think long-term betting on any of these Pepe and Friends narratives, I think it's very bullish in my opinion. I don't really talk about it much at all. Because obviously you guys know, if you've seen my channel, Mog is the chosen one, right? Nothing literally strays my mind from Mog. This is the chosen meme coin for the entire cycle, right? But again, sometimes you don't want to just hold one coin. You want to hold multiple, right? So yeah, I think Hoppy, actually this one's starting to trend up too, which is cool. So like I said, we could see these, really continue to run long term. I think it's going to be one of the only ones long term seeing Hoppy actually have a chance to ever, get way bigger than Pepe ever did. Just because of the fact that precedes Pepe, like the art. And it's literally where Pepe the Frog, like, stemmed from, right? Excuse me, my voice is super dry. But that's kind of just what I wanted to bring up today, because that could be an interesting opportunity. I'd be curious to come back to this video in 3 to 6 months and see where both Hoppies are at, right? And again, like, this is not supposed to be a full out buy signal. These could be all the way at 0 for some reason, right? In 6 months. Maybe Hoppy never takes off, never gets that recognition. I don't know. So again, keep in mind, do not just ape any of these coins I'm telling you, unless you guys think it's a good thesis or reasoning to actually jump into it, right? But yeah, Bird Dog, like I said, I think is another one. But it seems like most of them on ETH are the ones that do pretty well. I think literally Bread on base was probably one of the only ones on a different chain that's been killing it. Like I said, Andy on Blast, I really like that idea. I love that. But again, this is me, heavily speculating right now. I have not looked into their socials, like for anything on Andy, on Landwolf, nothing like that. Yeah, but same thing with Landwolf, though, that I wanted to talk about. Same exact thing. There are literally like 20 different Landwolves. You got multiple on Sol. You got 2 newer ones on ETH, one on base. Then you got an OG Landwolf token from over a year ago. This one's sitting at 700K in market cap, right? It's kind of crazy to see. But again, like, for me personally, I love to bet on usually the first ones ever on the blockchain, but it really depends on a lot of things. Because I like the other Hoppy specifically because they just kind of rebranded to their CTO. So they're going hard right now, just over the last few days. So it's going to take a little while to pick it up. But even like Landwolf, let's see like this original Landwolf token, like what they're doing on socials. If they even post, right? Again, I don't know. So a little bit. So I don't know. It's not too bad, I guess. But yeah, I guess, no, it looks like Bird Dog is one. Yeah, pretty interesting. I don't know. But obviously a good way to look at it though is checking CoinGecko as well. If I'm looking for Land Wolf, usually want to find the ones with the most volume. I mean, as you can see, I don't. This one might be on base. Is this one right here? This is the one that I was just talking about, that OG one, but you can see it as like minimal volume. So I don't know. It's very hard to know. Actually, Andy on ETH is literally trending. It's crazy. I didn't even know that. But yeah, if we're looking at Landwolf, like it looks like the one on ETH, I think, right here. The newer one is what has most of the attention. Sitting at 80 million in market cap. I mean, you can just see the chart. I think if this dips really heavy, again, not a buy signal. If this dips heavy, even upwards of 50%, even if we could see this at like 30, 40, 50 million, just on a longer term dip, this could be a great entry for like an OG Boys Club token. And again, I don't mean OG by this one specifically based on the time frame, but this looks like one of the strongest Landwolf tokens that is out right now, right? Is this OX674 on ETH? Yeah, it's listed a few plays. I don't know. Usually I don't really look at the exchanges at all. It's definitely important, but I think the main factor is when you have multiple of the same exact meme coin. That's the main place that I look and check for stuff like that. Because if it's an original meme coin, as long as the community is, very much so there, it just eventually it will get picked up. It will get on exchanges. It takes time a lot of times, but again, if you got a bunch of different of the same exact coins, that's when it's hard to decipher which is like the real one, the best one, right? But yeah, Bobo, like I said, Bobo's a gem. At these level, absolutely not. I would wait for this to probably bounce, maybe not that low. This is probably gonna bounce maybe something like this. And depending on what the market does through July and August, I could be completely wrong. I cannot draw today, bro. Maybe this comes down and bounces and then has another leg up. I'm really, oh my god, excuse me. I'm really bullish on Bobo, personally. And then the last thing I want to bring up today is Mumu. I love Mumu, actually. Mumu on Solana. It's in at about 50 million. This chart is basically waiting to just have a huge pump at some point. I think having this Pepe-like bull encapsulating the bull run, I don't know what it is. I really like this coin. Again, very speculative, right? This is just me saying that I like this coin. Like, I don't know what it is, but I do. I'm not invested in this one, but I'm seriously thinking about it, especially at current levels. Like, this chart is basically bottomed out. Even if it goes a little lower, still just looks like an entry, right? Even if it trends down, boom. Eventually it's going to make a higher high and then just go have a rip, right? I think at some point it'll have a huge rip. Because I've seen on Twitter, sentiment's pretty good on this one as well. So it looks pretty good. Would not be surprised to see this do really well, as like even longer term.